I asked you earlier, and we're not going to play this word game. Has Maisie attacked, been violent towards humans, other dogs, cats, I don't care, birds, anybody?
Okay. She never attacked.
Okay.
What she did, she ran out the door to jump on the neighbor, you know, like for the neighbor to pet her. Maisie has long nails and scratched her.
So it was a scratch, again, like she had suggested
Yeah,
happened
but this
here.
was a real scratch. Yeah, I don't, you know, because I didn't see the other one. I saw this. It was my neighbor.
You said it was a
and
real
she
scratch. What do you think the injuries that you have in front of you of her dog Rocky are? What do you think they are?
Well,
you not think that that's at least, your mom described it as a scratch.
Yeah,
you don't think that that's a scratch? I think it's more than that.
I mean, I'm looking, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay, well, I'm asking you now.
Like I told you again.
Okay, but I'm asking you
now.
now.
Well, I mean, what do I see? You know, I see a...
I see a hole.
Okay.
You just said there was a real scratch on this human being.
Yeah.
And you took it to urgent care.
Right.
And now I'm asking you to look at the photos.
Okay, then it looks like, a bite. But also, can I tell you something that I try to get?
Why is your tone?
No, okay.
I'll open it up for my colleagues to ask questions as well, but go ahead.
Exhibit A, if you see the text messages, and the thing is that she never came up to us ever, and there's no reply of her text saying,
you were only willing to pay her $500, $580, even though she had
because that's what that was the first bill that she gave.
But then she sent another one for more amounts.
Okay, we know that we owe something, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, yes, I understand that. But to say there's a bloody scene, wrong, it wasn't. To say the neighbor that lives so far away,
I understand.
Screaming, that's a lie. And another thing, you know, this lady's going to be 90 years old. She has bad eyesight. And, you know, if I don't stand next to her, who is? You know, I have to.
All right, we're going to try and resolve it. Now,
we have enough.
One final word, please.
You know, what I want to say is that her dog, I don't know if it's true, he had cancer.
All right, thank you very much. No, we understand that. We understand. I read your papers. We have more than enough to be able to fairly and justly resolve this case. So the parties are excused. Thank you all very much.
Ms. McNabb, Ms. Reynolds, Ms. Gutierrez, we have reviewed the evidence, deliberated, and reached a unanimous verdict. And we really thought that both parties' perspectives here could have possibly been about the same event. You both saw it a little differently, and that sometimes happens, and that's okay. At the end of the day, there's no reasonable explanation for Rocky's injuries other than the interaction with Maisie. It just had to have been. In addition to this being the first time Rocky was seen at this particular hospital, every single record on the detailed records made very clear that it was follow-ups and continuation of services provided in connection with what took place on the 22nd. And at the end of the day, compared to our knowledge of other cases involving dog injuries, it's a very reasonable amount for this type of injury. And so there was absolutely no suggestion to us that this was an overreaching amount of damages or that this occurred because Rocky was receiving treatment for some other pre-existing condition. This was the treatment received for the unfortunate incident. So for that reason, Ms. McNabb, we are awarding you the full amount requested for your veterinarian bills. In addition, you had proof that you were forced to take out a loan because you had to come out of pocket for the bills for an incident that ultimately was not your responsibility. And you're only seeking the loan interest for the amount you had to take out for the bill. So we're going to award you the loan interest in addition to that. And emotional distress is a difficult issue in these type of cases. But for dog attacks that are scary and for dog attacks that result in injuries to our loved ones, some amount of emotional distress damages is appropriate, and you're seeking a very modest amount here, under $500. So we believe that that was appropriate too. We don't have sufficient proof of lost wages or driving expenses, so you're not awarded those. But all in all, the sum total of the vet bills plus the loan interest plus emotional distress adds up to a total of $1,500. So the verdict of the court is in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500, and we wish all of you and your animals the best.